What's up, everyone? It's Ivan, and today I wanted to tell you a little vending nightmare. So every person that's ever went out and tried to get locations or sold anything, right? In vending, you're trying to sell yourself and your business and try to get a location. Everyone has stories about when something went wrong. So today I'm going to be telling you about mine. So I've mentioned, some stories in other videos, and you've probably seen in the cold call videos or actual going in person videos where I got rejected or, things didn't go the way that I wanted. That sometimes when you go to locations, people are gonna, say things. They might have an attitude, might tell you something you don't want to hear, and everyone that's ever went to try to get a location has experienced that. But this one was a special one, and I don't know if anything like this has ever happened, to anyone watching this video or any other vendors. If it has, share it in the comments. Tell me your worst story, that you have. But basically what happened is that whenever I go anywhere, if me and my wife go to a restaurant, if we're at the mall, if we're anywhere, I always take advantage of that time. It only takes a few minutes to go and talk to the owner and tell them a little bit about yourself, what you do, and if you can place your machine there. And so that's what I did this one day. We were in the mall, we were going shopping. I think we might have been getting some baby stuff, or maybe we were just going to just hang out at the mall. And we were passing by this store that I've known since I was a kid. It was like a jewelry kind of kiosk and then like a toy outlet, actual unit, actual space, and they're right next to each other. And this lady's been there doing that since I was a kid. She's been right there at the jewelry outlet, and she opened up the jewelry kiosk, and she opened up the toy outlet. So she's an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. And I always thought that was pretty badass, because you see a bunch of these other, Hollister, all of these other Macy's, all these big corporate, well-known, all over any mall, you'll see them. But hers was, she kind of started it ground up, is what it looked like. So I kind of admired that, and I thought, hey, well, maybe if I go and approach her, maybe she'll kind of resonate with me. Like, hey, I remember I was starting off. This kid's starting off. Let me go ahead and, yeah, sure, I'll help him out. That's what I was thinking how it would go. So I walk in and give her my pitch, give her the whole spiel, and I tell her, hey, got this candy machine business. I'm here locally. I service it, I maintenance it, I fill it up. You never have to worry about anything, and I'll give you 10% of all sales. And I get, confident and everything. I thought at first that she would be into it, but no. After that, she just looks at me with a straight face and says, all right, well, how about 60%? And I thought she was joking. So I kind of laughed and whatever. And she's like, what about that? I didn't know if she was like trying to mess with me, and she was kind of just holding on to the joke, holding on to the laughter until like I actually kind of showed a little bit of uncomfort. And then she's like, no, I'm just kidding, right? Of course you can put it here. So I would keep laughing, and I'm just like, no, like you can't be serious. She's like, no, like, well, okay, well, will you come in here? You're asking to put it in my store. I pay a lot of rent. What can you do? How much can you give me? So I felt like the vibe I was getting at that point was like, okay, maybe she's trying to test me. Maybe she's like giving off a teacher energy. Like, okay, well, tell me how you would come back at me. What would you counter with? So I told her, I said, look, like, honestly, I the max I could do is 10%. I think it would do great here. So I would offer you 20, but that's just the highest I can go. There's just nothing. It wouldn't make any sense to me. These machines don't make a lot of money per location. I can't give you a bunch from one machine. It won't make sense for me. The way that I make money is I have a lot of locations that do small on their own, but when you put it all together, it makes it worthwhile. She said, well, you have to think bigger. You have to think bigger. You see, I pay a lot of rent here. She took me outside in like the hall, right? The lane where everyone walks. And she starts showing me, obviously there was other gumball machines and toy machines, and they have their kiosks and everything. She said, look at these guys. You have to think bigger. You have to be like them. They pay a lot of rent. I pay a lot of rent. This is the mall. And I was just like, okay, well, like, sorry, I just couldn't do it, right? Just couldn't do it. And I had given her my business card because I had printed my business card. And so she's just going on and on how I need to think bigger and whatever. And at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. I got it. Rejection. I'm out. I'm ready to go. But she just kept talking and talking and talking. So she has my business card, and she says, you know what? You gave me a great idea. I think I'll buy one for myself. She's like, where can I get one of those? And I'm thinking in my head, like, you have two businesses. I'm sure you have a lot to deal with. And you probably make a lot more off of your businesses than you would a candy machine. I mean, you just taking your time to go and drive and get candy and fill it up, how long it's going to take you, the time, that just the mental space that takes. it wouldn't even be worth it to you. You might as well just focus that time on your business. You'll make 10 times more money, right? What I'm presenting is no work for you, and you get something, right? She had unused space. It's not like there was something, so I'm thinking to myself, like, it's a no lose for you. Me, I have to try to recoup my money for the machine that I bought. And so I was thinking in my head, like, all right, she really wants to do that on her own. I'm going to let her so she can see, it's not that easy. There's not a lot left over. When you do the calculations on the candy and everything, it doesn't make sense for someone to do it at one place. You can't make substantial amount of money off of one machine. So I tell her, I'm like, yeah, you can get it anywhere. You can get it on candymachines.com, on Amazon. She's like, oh, Amazon. So she takes out a pen. She starts writing on my business card. She's like, Amazon. Oh, she's like trying to get in my head. As I'm talking, she's writing, she's taking notes on everything I'm saying. So I just start to like leave out, right? That was like, whatever, I start to leave out of the door. I'm just like, all right, take it easy. And she's just talking, following me out of her unit, of her store. She's like, yeah, you got to think bigger. You got to think bigger. I'm just telling you, because, that's the way you do business. That's the way you. And I was like, wow, I never, ever, the joke where they say like worst they can say is no. Well, no, the worst they can say is like, oh man, yeah, keep talking. I'm going to do this myself. Thanks for giving me the idea, punk, later, like just bully you out of the door. So she was that type of energy. That was a first for me. I've got people that were annoyed or frustrated or like dismissive, but she was like full attention, trying to get in my head. And I thought that was crazy that she did that over like a candy machine. I don't know if she thought I was trying to hustle her, or she's just like always in business mode, so she wants to get the best end of the deal. I don't know what it was. You guys leave a comment down below if you know why that lady was like that. I have no idea. It was strange. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, you're dealing with the candy machine. It's not like it's a lot of money. It's not like I'm trying to give you something. We can break down the numbers. Like, there's not a lot left over. Just wanted to share a crazy story. If you guys have any, leave it down in the comments. That's going to do it for this video. Catch you guys next time.